MCP is all the talk at the moment. Every tech tool seems to be trying to implement their own MCP server, but what does that all mean and why is everyone talking about it? MCP, also known as Model Context Protocol, provides a standard interface which AI models and LLMs can then interact with other tools. Typically when we interact with AI, maybe we're using a chatbot. You'd ask it a question and you'd get a text response. But in this case, MCP will allow your AI model to return a function call. So rather than telling you what you need to do, such as this is the answer, I'm going to tell you that this is the response, it will instead be able to call a function to trigger the next step. So instead of the AI telling you what the next step is, it can just do it for you. By creating this layer of standardization, it's never been easier to integrate an AI model with external tools and systems in ways that actually is useful. You could think of it as sort of a glue or translator between your external system and your AI model. AI models are obviously all the rave at the moment, but what were they doing before MCP came around? The issue is these companies were building all these incredible models that on paper could do some incredible things. But the issue is it was all a lot of noise because people couldn't do anything useful with them. Beyond these standard chat interfaces where people were integrating everything manually, there wasn't much you could do to integrate it into your application. They were limited to whatever training data those models had been trained on, which meant when you are integrating it into your own platform, it doesn't have any context on your tool, or especially when you release a new update. There's no way of being able to feed that information unless you're training the model yourself. Have you ever tried asking ChatGPT a question on a specific tool and it just completely makes it up? That's kind of the problem that we were facing, and as a result, people thought AI models were very cool, but then the interest started to drop off a little bit because you couldn't really do anything with them. And this is where AI models are only as useful as the data they have access to. But MCP comes along to solve this problem, which means now you can integrate your AI with, for example, the GitHub API, which now means that you could ask for the current issues in a repository. And thanks to the GitHub API and using an MCP server, you can now effectively translate your ask of how many issues are there or what issues are there, and it will be able to make an API call to get that data and then turn it into human readable text to respond to you. So now the AI can be useful. Another example is my friend Harshal here has built a Berlin transport MCP server. So in this scenario, you can now just ask AI what train you should get. Rather than having to search all of it yourself in a specific app, you can say, I need to get to, let's say, the airport for a flight at this time. The AI can then know it might already know how long you need to get before you need to get to the airport. So therefore, it can suggest a train that you should get, rather than you having to manually figure that all out by figuring out, I need to get there a few hours before, so I'll set my arrival time to this. Now, AI can do that for you. And you can build your own MCP servers too. There's a fantastic tool called Fast MCP, which uses the Fast API library in Python to make it pretty simple for you to build your own MCP servers. So here's an example, right? Fairly straightforward for you to build your own server that can then take your API and make it something that AI is then able to interact with. We actually have an MCP server for Kestra as well. And as you can see here, I'm able to ask it some prompts. It then just double checks that the information I'm asking is correct. And then here, as you can see, it's able to give me a human readable response using the Kestra API to get that information. And we've got a bunch of different examples here too. So for example, I can say, list all the flows with active triggers. We can see there is only one flow with an active trigger. So again, very useful. So this just shows you how you can take what is a very powerful AI model and make it even better by integrating it with external systems. MCP is here to stay, and I'd love to hear what you're doing with MCP. If you'd love to see more content on MCP, maybe building your own MCP server and how to integrate it with other tools, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to this video if you liked it and give it a like, as this really helps us and will help us make more content like this.